I am more powerful than you could ever imagine.
And yet with all that, you choose to do nothing but
create broken gods.
Come on, motherfuckers, come on. Come on, motherfuckers, come on. Yeah. Come on, motherfuckers, come on. Come on, motherfuckers, come on. Release the brainstorm to make your motherfucking brain warm. A strange form, something kind of lyrical. Biggie the bastard today.
I've made a severe and continuous lapse in my judgment.
Why are you running? Why are you running? Like 11's about 8, 38's 9, 9, 10, max 10, the shit's never.
Gum, they have a DC, let's siege voice, ha 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 ha.
Boom, bop, pow. That's how I got the weed spot. I shot Tread in the head, took the bread and the
I thought we were friends.
As did I.
lamb spread. Nope.
Do it.
So don't resist, or you might miss Christmas. So you better grab your pistol, cause if you sit still,
Yep, it's that time again. Hi-Rez have released yet another extremely broken god, and their answer to the community is this? I've played a lot of Morgan Le Gay and played against her a lot as well over the last few weeks, and I can tell you that a 2-second cooldown increase is not going to fix this absolute mess of a god release. But hey, they also provided a bonus update and took 10% power scaling off of her one, so she's definitely going to be balanced now, eh fellas? The Dank Enchantress's release reminds me a lot of Gilgamesh actually. They're both extremely overpowered, really fun to play, but playing against them feels like wiping your ass with sandpaper. I was actually playing some late night joust the day before recording this video and had a guy on my own team rage quit the lobby because I picked Morgana. On my team, not the enemy team. He didn't have to deal with her bullshit, he was just going to get carried by me, but he still leaves the lobby. That's what this god does to people. Her 1 is potentially the biggest offender in her entire kit, hence the cooldown and scaling nerfs it just received a week after launch, but here's a question. Why the fuck did they think this ability should be on a 10-second cooldown in the first place, when it does insane damage, has great range, and comes with one of the best CCs in the game, plus other options? Though to be honest, you can actually just get away with only using the fear and still be totally fine. This ability would still be very good if it only had the fear option. You're really just maximizing things by using the other effects, to be honest. This thing is great for poke, great for wave clear, great for setup, as you can easily follow up the fear with like the rest of her kit. And it's amazing self-peel. It's similar to Vulcan's Magma Bomb in terms of you can just put this on yourself if you're getting died by a melee god, and they either have to peel off of you and let you escape, or just eat the fear. The hitbox is also way bigger than Magma Bomb, and I think it might even come out faster, so it's even easier to do this with. Due to the delayed nature of her fear, you can easily cast this and then know if you're going to hit the second tick so you can follow up immediately with the rest of your bullshit. One of those follow-ups is her 2, which is actually pretty fine in my opinion. It does a lot of damage, but you had to be basically in melee range to confirm it on a god, and once again, it is very good for self-peel. Between this and her 1 sphere, she's arguably just as safe as a god with standard movement. Her 3 though, this is probably the most annoying part of her kit. Not the most overpowered, but definitely the most annoying. The damage isn't that insane, but the range on this ability means you basically can't stand anywhere near Morgana in lane or in a skirmish, or you're just going to eat 20% of your HP on cooldown. It has a range of 60, but then the explosion AoE extends that range by a further 6.25 units in all directions, so it's basically a total range of 66.25. A ranged basic attack is 55 by the way, so that's significantly further than ranged basic attacks and goes almost as far as DOS 1 through a glyph, which is a 2-part ability. Oh, and did I mention if you use a movement ability to avoid Morgan's ridiculous follow-ups after this, you take an extra 180 plus 20% scaling in damage, because why not? If you add that onto the base damage with the ability, it actually hits really hard. This also gives her a good chunk of movement speed on cast, which adds even more to her self-peel aspect, but she can even use this to chase targets very effectively as well. So all of these abilities I've just listed apply a mark to enemies you hit, and having all marks active at once grants 100 magical power for free. Pretty good, right? Well, this also ties into her most broken ability yet. Oh yeah, we said the best till last, boys. Consuming power can deal up to 1175 base damage and 145% scaling if you consume every mark. She gains extremely long duration CC immunity and movement penalty immunity, and she heals a minimum 45% missing health for hitting all 3 strikes. If you hit multiple enemies, you can even heal more than this, it's just half benefit for additional targets. So saying you hit 3 people with each strike, that's going to be a casual 90% missing health heal. I don't know about you guys, but in England, we call that bullshit. Also, you remember her 3 and how it has 66.25 units of range? Well, this ultimate has 100 units of range. Yeah, this goes almost twice as far as a ranged basic attack. That's the same range as Thoth's ultimate. except this does way more damage, is over 3 shots so it's more forgiving, gives CC immunity and no movement penalty, and heals you upwards of half your health bar. I can't tell you how many times I've almost killed a Morgana and she ults and heals almost 1000 health, then bursts me down with her bullshit damage afterwards. I'm sure you guys have had similar experiences based on how people act in the lobby after I body them with this abomination of a god. In all seriousness though, this design is really fun to play, and I think with some actually substantial nerfs, she could be great for the game. And by substantial, I do not mean this, high-res. This is something you do to an A+ tier god to bring them into balance, not an SS tier broken piece of shit release like Morgan Le Gay. Like with many releases, including Gilgamesh that I compared her to earlier, balance is the main problem here rather than a huge flaw in her design. And lucky for high-res, balance is a lot easier to fix than a big design problem. But that's just one man's opinion. Let me know your thoughts on the Dank Enchantress down below, and drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys in another one later on. Have a great day, and peace out, you nerds.